My name, like I said, is Keith Quinn. I go by Sanio on the forums. I'm a designer on Shroud the Avatar. I wear multiple designer hats. Uh, Originally, I was simply a level designer. Then I added in other stuff like I do player and towns. I do quests. I'm the quest guy, and quite a few other things. I do world building. I do special wave battles, and we're gonna talk about some of that in the new scene I'm working on today called Lord British's Castle. And if you are familiar with Trail of the Avatar, maybe you've been watching uh, our official live streams where we get in depth on some things. But today, even though we'll be chatting, I'll actually be really just working, and you're basically watching over my shoulder as I work. Trying to get things caught up. So the scene that we're in right now, this is Lord British's Castle. There might be a few spoilers here and there as this comes up, so just be wary of that. So the basic layout of the castle is done. You see a lot of translucent walls over here. Those are things that keep you from getting out of the play space. Just sort of circle the camera, circle the castle a little bit. You can see I also have like these little labels down there to help remind me what's what, but we can actually turn those off. Let me see. Yeah, I gave them all the same name, so that's good. Turn those off. And so that's just the view. When players start, they should start here. And actually, that's something that I think I forgot to do. There's a certain marker that has to be in place where players start, and I did not have it in yet. It kind of didn't matter. Players can't get to this yet, but they will be able to. And what this is, it's Lord British's Castle will be a series of wave battles that each one tougher and tougher than the previous one. And this is similar to our other scene that we call the Compendium of Pain and Suffering. It used to be Chilblain's Compendium Pain and Suffering. Huge name. We sort of shortened it a little bit. And when players come in here, they'll start. I'll give you a quick rundown, but then we'll get to the boring stuff. We'll just start decorating room after room. Players will. This door will be open, and this is all like as I've sort of hinted already. This is not done. I'm working to do it right now. You'll see doors and decorations in the wrong spots or missing. You'll stand on this center area. This is a placeholder. This will be changed as something unique for the scene. When you and your friends stand in the middle, the wave battle starts. When you finish them, you'll go this way. This is a little hallway. Well, it's pretty wide, but it's a hallway. It's a buffer area between two rooms, two wave battle rooms. When you and friends go here, you'll fight some more. And when this room is done, that door will open. This door will also open as well, so there's a fast shortcut back this way. They don't necessarily have to go back here. You can go here. Either one's fine. And then I'll also open this room just for fun. You'll be able to go in there and see some minor interesting things, just some bonus stuff. Just 1 second. Then when you finish that room, you'll be in this area. Oh, my editor slowed down for a second. Come on, catch up. Alright, there we go. So now we'll go in here. There'll be some more greenery here, so this is sort of, these plants are sort of a hint as to what's in here. So there might be actual planters in the previous area, larger ones, but there'll be a bunch of flowers and decorations over here. And then there'll be this hedge maze. Stand here, trigger the bad guys. They'll come from like all the corners. Some nice statues and stuff in hedge maze. You will not see these big translucent blockers when the scene is actually running. those blockers are just to keep you from jumping over the walls or like getting behind this statue into a place where you might get stuck. So they're just helpful colliders. And then when you finish this room, you'll be able to go in here, and probably I will open this door right here, just this door, not these doors, but this door, to let you like run back and forth. This door will not be open, but you'll be able to get in here to get it like a teaser, and then you can see through like this door. And that's actually the first room I'm going to decorate the kitchen right there, so we'll do that later. But the goal is to keep players following these banners right here. So you see there's no banners on these doors, but there's banners here, eye-catching. It's a little tip, go this way. This is a theatrical area. Lord British Arabella sit up here. They watch their plays. A little stage right here. Makeshift stage. Backstage area. Preparation. And then go through here. This is a shipping and loading area. And there'll be a big fight in here. And when this fight's over, once again, looking for the banners. I see there's chats. Crafty Method, it says, would be cool to see evidence of any struggle or people suddenly leaving. Let me back up a little bit. We'll come back to the shipping area in a second, but let's zip back to the front. So there'll be guards at these barricades, and you can talk to the guards, and one will give you a quest, and that relates to the inner area. This is similar to the narrator character in the Compendium of Pain and Suffering. And then other evidence would be dead bodies here and there, because this castle is under assault, and the mercenaries or whoever that's assaulting it have been doing a great job. Oops, I overshot it. So we're back to the shipping area. And then once we finish the shipping area, this is what we call the treasure room. So it's kind of like three major sections of the castle, kind of like there's three major sections of the Compendium of Pain and Suffering. At the end of each section, there's what we call a treasure room behind the scenes here as designers. And there'll be some treasure chests to loot here. Like I have one placeholder chest right here, and then just a few other things. So this will be decorated a little bit more. It'll look more interesting. It won't be just crates and barrels. It'll be something more interesting. And then we just have like a little hallway. So imagine that someone has earned their way all the way up to here. They fought everything all the way up to this treasure room. So now this door is open, this door is open, this door is open. Remember this door we were talking about before? This is open. So if your friend comes to join you, let's say your friend pops up late, pops up here, goes, how do I get to you? And you like try to get the shortcut. So he'll go through here, go through here. He can go through either one of these doors, but probably he's going through here, here, and here, and then he can actually shortcut here, and then go into here, and now he's back where you are. So he didn't have to go through this area, or that door, or the door that we can't see on the other side of this wall. So that's something we're working on, also for convenience. So I got two types of doors here. There are doors that are controlled by the wave battles, and doors that are just open and close. So anytime you see these tall ones or these similarly light brown ones, they're controlled by the wave battles. Well, also these outer gates. So here's the kitchen. I'll be coming back to that and start working on that. But then we also have some brown doors. These brown doors, they can just open and close whenever. They won't be locked. Players can open and close. This is not special in particular, but there will be some later on. This will be a dining area. There will be some later on, like here, where once this door is open, you have two doors, and then there's interesting things behind the doors. Potentially the doors might be trapped, so you got to be careful. There'll be a bathroom in here. I like putting in the niceties, the bathrooms. Let's back up a little bit. The stoves. This room is probably done. I'm not really sure, but this is sort of an example of the kind of space I'm going for. It has to mostly be empty, or if not empty, easily run aroundable for you and for the NPCs. So it can't be too cluttered. So so this is kind of what I'm going for. Some bunch of nice things against the wall. Against the wall is always fine. If there's space between, there has to be enough space where someone can run around. By the way, I apologize in advance if my dog starts barking. When he hears me talking on the live stream or on the phone, he he comes in and he wants attention. Okay, so let's say we've earned our way all the way here. We're going to go this way, and then this way. You know, even inside, we can see the banners guide us forward. This will be like a guard station, or maybe even like a barracks. Probably a couple beds, some weapons and shields on the wall. Maybe trophies, animal heads, things like that. And then as you go through here, then this is a receiving area. This will have a little bit more decorations, but mostly I want to stay empty. There might be some statues or something here and there. It's mostly empty, and there'll be a fight in here. And when the fight is done, those doors won't open yet. That's much later. Those are shortcut doors that we're looking at. But if we look at this door that's slightly open on the left over here, that's the door that'll open, telling us to go this way. There's no little banner overhead because there's banners all over the place, but hopefully you'll notice that the door is open. That door will be closed. We're not there yet. We'll go up this right here, and then we can look down into the throne room, which will have a bit more decorations, but mostly it's the block out is there. This door will be open at this point, and we can look down. If our friends are trying to catch up, we'll be able to see them. And then we'll go in here. So this door will be open, and that's the way we should go. But we can also see that there's things going on over here. That door will be closed. This door, I think, will be closed. It might be open. I'm not sure. I might have to switch the door to a brown door. The dark brown door. This will be music's room. Oh, it looks like LB forgot to build the barracks. Well, there's that one guard room that I have. Guards will be there, so that's kind of like the barracks. I can't do like every single type of room that would be in a castle, but I have a lot. You know, I mean, I have bathrooms, I have dining areas, I have music room right here. There's actually extra levels that I'm not filling in today, or probably at the start. That's sort of like for future development. That'll be upper floors. So let's just sort of jump up there. See this area I'm not filling in. I kind of have vague plans for it, but they're not a direct part of the way battle situation. Shadow Vice says that's the raid room. Yeah, maybe. I kind of see that as the actual bedrooms and private area for Lord British and his family. Down here, we move through here. Another room over there. Open area over here. This will probably be open at the end or near the end. We'll just sort of take a little side trip over here. So this is the lower roof. This is the middle roof. And then the upper roof. There'll be some sort of decorations up here. Nothing too elaborate, but something to keep it from being so super plain like it is right now. We'll back up a little bit. I'll go back on the path. So this is where we left off. So we just came from the music room, and now we're going this way. And this is likely going to be like a high-ranking servants' quarters. This is not open until the very end. We'll get back to that in a second. So this is the servants' quarters. Is that a water tower on the top? Yes, on the roof there's a water tower. Little things like that. I try to put in things that make sense with the art and pieces that we have. It'd be cool to see guilds trying to occupy the place. That would be a completely different system. It would be cool to have an occupation system, but we don't have that at this point. So now we can see we're on the other side of the throne room, and there'll be a fight in here in this room. And then there's stairs down here where we'll go. And then the third bathroom. Bathroom is very important to me. These doors will be just kind of open. Probably more minor servants' quarters, maybe like the chef, animal handler, things like that. Maybe a guard, captain of the guards. Now we have made our way into the throne room. We'll come over here. We'll trigger the battle, and we'll fight some big bad guys in here. That's where Lord British sits, and Arabella, Rowan and Kinga, the whole royal family. And then when the battle's over, this vault door will open. And then you can go down here. And then in here will be the vault. So the vault is, so we talked about the first treasure room in one room. This is the third treasure room. The second treasure room is, I forget where. Well, the second treasure room was these stairs. This will have treasure in it. And when everything's done, this door will open, that door will open. You know, anyone who's sort of coming from the outside and everything's over, they can come in here, probably go right up here and meet up with you, and then everyone dances. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it yet, but I believe, I think I could do it where part of the quest will mean, so some players want to do the good thing and not touch Lord British's vault, the objects in the vault, and some players were like, I don't care, I'm taking it. You know, you left this castle, I'm taking it. And you'll go in here and take stuff. So I need to figure out a way where you can have that choice and make it a legitimate way for you to either get rewarded for leaving the vault alone, or, you know, obviously taking stuff in the vault is its own reward. So that's the goal. So there's the basic rundown of that. And of course, when everything's over, I said before that this will now open up. So these doors down here will also open up. This was that guard post room. And over here, this was that servants' lounge area. Let me back up all the way to the front again. So this is where you came in, and when everything's done, if someone wants to catch up, this door will actually be open. And you can go through here, and just showing off a few of the things that I have here. I don't know that it'll be built up much more than this, but I got some you know, troughs and hitches, places for groundskeeping stuff to be placed. This is sort of like the servants' entrance, the shipping entrance. So if there's stuff to be dropped off, you know, not nobles, but I guess new supplies, foods, things like that, they'll come back to the shipping area. And remember, we were in the shipping area before we weren't in the castle, so that's where we go, and the kitchen. So that's how that whole thing works. This will be open. Little crafting station, carpentry station right there. Snugs wants to start over. I just got here. No, that's starting over. You'll have to check it out later, or you can go check out the Friday official live stream that we had. So that's the inside. What you can't get to is the outside, but I'll show you a little bit of the outside. We'll start from out here. So I want you to be able to see what's outside, because I know you'll be able to see some of it when you're up higher in some of these high areas, and you'll be able to look out and see stuff. So I have to make sure that it makes sense with where you are. But I also want to keep this door open, and if you turn around and look, you'll be able to see, not these volumes, but you'll be able to see the area like this. Although, let's see what the lighting looks like. So something a little bit more like that. By the way, somewhere where my mouse is, if you can see my mouse to the south, where we're facing right now, that'll be where, this is the direction of where the main entry town is, the main entry town to Mistrender. So it'll be near that first town. So anyone who just plops up at the cross-continental galleon, they can come here pretty quickly. Snugs asks, how big is the zone? The zone itself, the play space, is only within the castle walls, so that right there. But it's more of a dungeon than an open zone, in the sense that it's like an open air dungeon where you go from room to room to room. Is there stuff to hunt outside the castle? No, there won't be any creatures or anything out there. If you see these green volumes here, that's the exit volumes. So if you're inside the castle walls and you're trying to exit, you will be zoned out to Mistrender right here. But I want to make sure that the outside looks reasonable by your eye and even upon examination with the screenshots later on. So, you know, I do, you know, the little bells and whistles, like even underneath the spots where you can't see. Just in case, who knows if we ever come back to this map, you know, maybe I'll send you back in some weird way and you have to do something outside that's unrelated to what's in there. I don't know. I like to repurpose things that are made well. I like the way this outdoor is coming out. This obviously is not done yet over here. Pretty simple. If we look over here, it's a little bit more built out. Look over here. So this is a little closer to what, well, except that tree in the middle right there. A little closer to what it might look like. Alright. Actually, wait. Let me just do this. There you go. It's what tier is the zone? It'll it's hard to say. It'll start kind of as tier 5, but it quickly escalates beyond that because, like the Compendium of Pain and Suffering, each room is tougher and tougher than the last one. So it's sort of an endurance test more than an actual sort of like go fight random monsters play space. So I'll keep zooming around the outside of the castle. I want to make sure that the rock walls are pretty tall and uninviting, so it looks like people couldn't climb or would have a crazy tough time to climb. I went to Edinburgh once and looked at the castle there in person, and it was phenomenal how crazy it was. It looked like it would be impossible to get there, but then they were telling stories about how there was sometimes, or at least one particular time, there was some like a company of knights climbed these steep, crazy walls in armor and everything one time to bust in. So anyway, so that's the layout. That's the basics we have. The blockout's done. A bunch of areas have decorations. This is not done. This is just sort of placeholder right here. Some places are more decorated than others. Like the hedge maze probably doesn't need anything else. The theater area probably doesn't need anything else. But now we get to the little bit more boring stuff. So this is the kitchen. Oop of the Vale says, that's a beautiful castle. What was the inspiration for the flower bed? I recall they have a flower clock in Edinburgh. So I'm not sure which flower bed you mean. Let me back up. You could mean these, but you could also mean this. So the inspiration for this, if we get the bird's eye view, you can see the yellow, the blue, and the red cross. That's the inspiration for that. The Lord British heraldry. What I need in a lot of these places are rugs. Actually, so I'm going to start going back and forth. I'm going to grab this rug and go here. Just click that to get into that room. Whoops. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that these circles, this circle rug, which will eventually be a more something that fits better with all the areas. I want to make sure that that is clear of space. You know. So this one of the rugs right here. I just want to make sure that this area seems like it's full. It's got everything, that all the bells, appropriate bells and whistles. Shrink some things. I don't know about that. We'll shrink them both. A drip of blood somewhere. Yeah, we have these little blood decals, we call them. They're just sort of like a... so you can see these rugs actually have like a little thickness to them. Oops, let me back up. You look at the corner, it's a little bit of thickness to them. So a decal is something that doesn't have any thickness. But besides that, it's actually kind of a projection. It's not really special effects, like spellcasting effects, but it's like a projection. Sometimes they break, so I have to be careful about them. But we do also have a thicker blood drip. Oh, it's a little hard. I have a special layout here that I do for streaming. Normally I have 2 screens. What is this? Yeah, so things like that we can do. It's not a decal projection, but it's in that area. In fact, do this a little bit. Need to have a little bit more space. So I'll make a folder for a bunch of blood drips. I don't really know which ones are the good ones. Just bring them all in. Oh, these are the player deco ones. Sometimes we have versions made for players, and sometimes there's versions just for us. And by the way, when you come in the main door, we talked about that guards before. There's these rooms on the sides. These to me are little guard posts to help make sure that people coming in the front aren't there for nasty business. And I guess something went wrong. Someone wasn't on the ball. A little blood. This will be right in the middle of the doorway. Maybe I'll actually start moving the doors where they should be. So all these doors have collision on them, but I don't really like. I want the collision to be slightly bigger than the door itself, so that way I don't have to worry about if the door is all the way to the edge of the frame. It could be pretty close, but it doesn't have to be perfect. I see I keep looking off the screen. I'm not paying attention. Sorry. Let me do this a little bit. Maybe this will help me. That. Oops. Was that? Did I have wrong? Oh, doors one. It's weird. Okay. I like to line things up just really kind of perfect if possible. But of course, it's not going to happen. So we can eyeball it most of the time. Oh, wait a second. So that one is forward to back lined up. The right looks pretty good. I'll probably also go in later and double check to make sure that all the doors open the way I want to. Like a door that feels like it should open, with the hinge on the inside, has the hinge on the inside. That's important sometimes, important to me anyway. Sometimes we could do stuff like this. We'll have to see what blood spider comes up. Some of these blood splatters may move. Kind of getting them all in here because there's probably a big battle here. Plus it'll be my repository for where I get my blood splatters from for other rooms. Oh, it's a pretty close one. So maybe that's good like that. As you're running past, most people won't notice. And if I say like had like a weapon or something lying on the corner, that would also help mask what I've done, the horrors of what I've done. kind of like the blood dripping through the floor. I don't want to have like every single piece of blood. So let's start trimming out. See, some of these are just, they're okay. They all have a nice purpose. But you know, I want a big splatter, smear, some drops, and then a sprinkling. You know, that's all you really need. You don't need to have a ton of different ones. And I can also resize any of these too if I wanted to. Like I kind of did with the one that's on the wall over there. I scaled it a little bit. Like, so this one, if I wanted to sort of do that, that's ridiculous. But I could. I don't think I need a long and lean one like that. It's pretty similar to the other ones. Too much. Someone will have to eventually clean that, says Crafty Method. Yep. Yes, sir. I also like to do this kind of thing. You get hit in the head, chest. See, a decal is nice because if you look at, so the ground is curved a little bit in some spots. So you see how it's sort of, this clips through the ground? A decal wouldn't do that. A decal would project, and it would sort of be like shadow puppet, you know, against a curved wall. It would just work out really well. Every once in a while the decals break, and then Travis and I get super annoyed. So I want to have decals in some spots, but I want to have decals in some spots, but they don't have to be everywhere. Just make sure I got all the ones I want. Okay, that's my basic blood splatters right there. So this is almost everywhere I will use desks. There's a lot of things that can be used repeatably here and there. So where does this guard sit? Say his desk is here. He has an inkwell. If you start seeing a place that has like a desk like this and inkwell, you know, especially multiple times, it's a pretty good bet that I decorated that room, if not the whole scene. Some of the other guys do it too, but I seem to do it way more than everyone else. And now he's got to have his chair. So which chair is correct for guard who's on duty but at a rich guy's house? So let's go here. So he can see out the window, and he can also just turn around and see what's going on out there. And maybe there's two guys. Maybe this guy's over here. Let's actually put him here. He doesn't get a window. I also like to everything can normally it drops down at like right angles, but I like to kink it up a little bit because if it's architecture, it should be like right angles, perfect angles, and everything. If it's hand placed or like nudged by people once in a while, it should be off angle. And then also spin those around so that not facing the same way. And this guy, oh, I do something over here. Let me copy this for a second. Come back to that guard post. Give these guards little cushions. Although maybe not red. Well, maybe red. Then let's jam it down a little bit. Day 4500, guarding LB in his castle. He went outside the walls on another adventure. I watched a few floors. That's what Crafty Method says. Oh. Stream name is incorrect. Where? I forgot where I changed that. Hold on one second. Don't remember where I changed it in this. Maybe do here. Hold on. Stand by. Alright. Decorating Lord Bridges Castle. Good. We got it. Success. I should put some French flag colors somewhere as a joke to remember the occasion. Oh. But I don't necessarily want to do it like that, but I do want to put banners and pennants and such hanging here and there. I haven't done that yet, but I will. So now I got these two things. Grab them both as one. Gotta make sure there's enough space in front so any player can sit down. So that's why often when you see a chair and it's not like pushed right up to the table, is because we need a little bit of space in between the chair and whatever's in front of it so a player can sit in it. And then let's just look up rugs. I kind of want to be consistent with rugs. So these runners are consistent with the ones that are in the throne room. Does that make sense? And then I also use rugs here. I like these rugs. So maybe these are kind of the servant rugs. So maybe the guards have a third type of rug. And instead of, I say a third type of rug because I don't want to use the same rug again and again, but I don't want to have like every rug be a unique thing. If this was sort of like the commoner's house, then maybe he might have 2 or 3 rugs and each one would be a little different. But when you're in a nobility, a house of someone in a nobility, I think they would be more consistent with their rugs. And of course, when I'm looking at this list, it's hard to see what the rugs look like, so I'm usually just sort of dragging in. This one's kind of dirty. I use that for like an abandoned house. I want a rug that has, that's not bad. Not too busy, clean lines, that's not bad either, I guess, a little dirty. I don't really know what a guard has as a rug. Something to break up the floor. the patterns in the floor. Maybe this one. Copy that. Just hold on to it. Something also that doesn't go against the colors in the scene. Just sort of doesn't necessarily have to match the colors in the scene, but it should. Even though this one was made square, the original was like this. You know what, we're going with this one. Earth tones. Okay. And I'm going to resize it a little bit. So does that look alright? I think that looks okay. I'm looking at the corners, trying to get a sense on if I have the scale right. I think that's probably right there. Once again, kind of make them a little bit off. So these are walk through it rugs. Sometimes you want to have rugs like underneath like the workspace, but that's not what I'm doing here. Although maybe I should. Trying to figure out if there should be 3 rugs here. So I gotta be careful about, because the rugs have height, so if I do the splatter thing, it might look a little weird sometimes. So I'll put it over here. I don't want the splatter to hang over the side. Is there another one I had? Let's move this one over here. A big blotch up there. I got hit while he's sitting down, probably. And then we'll look up. Yeah, it's funny. I was going to work in the kitchen area, and now I just moved to this guard area. That's okay. I can't think of the. Yeah, there you go. So the guards have weapon racks. We have a bunch of pre-made lootable racks. So that's what I'm using here. Bring up one more rack. Do like that. Something I also like to do is when there's a desk, when it might be like a captain or something, or you might have a visitor. do this one. Kind of looks like the same set. You see the sort of arched angle right there? There's an arch right there as well. Grab this. Kind of feel this is a little crowded over here, especially because these weapon racks are double-sided. You're supposed to be able to grab something from both sides. So let's do this. So Crossfire Bug's Eye says, asks, Sanio, any idea what change might have affected the staircases in West End? About 5 weeks ago after patch, the railings got offset a few feet, on about 2/3 of them. I don't know. I'm going to save your note though, and I'll look into it. But or if you already submitted it as a bug, I guess maybe Travis might already be looking into it. Copying these pieces here. Oh, did I just do something weird? Over here. Oh, not over there. Over here. And I'll make some adjustments. So this is mostly fine. Might be a couple other things I might put up. Do have a lot of these banners all over the place. Maybe it's a little too repetitive. I have to think about that. We have these on the other side. Normally I'd sort of switch up the order of the weapons, but I feel that they probably are consistent with how they lay out the weapons. That's not what I wanted to select. We like how the rugs are not perfectly aligned. Guards likely wouldn't bother setting everything perfectly aligned. They would be probably pretty close, but then of course there was a big fight in here, so then however perfectly they were aligned, I'm sure things got shuffled around and screwed up. Definitely in houses, regular, like the commoner houses. Things just are slightly off. But something like this, they should be way off. Normally straight, currently way off. Oops. Well, maybe that's fine. Oh, I just grabbed the pillow again. Actually, you know what? This pillow fell on the ground. Over there. Got knocked off. Sometimes we'll also do things like this. So this, actually, let me leave this one. This chair I will knock down. Be sure I've got space for these things. So because this chair got knocked down, I have to turn off the seat and I like to turn off the collision for the bottom piece so it doesn't sort of block you from trying to run around. But the top still has collision on it, so this box right here will block you if you're trying to run around. But I think it'll be okay with the nav mesh, so that's nice. So I push that a little bit too. Turn this one around because of the bows. You can just sort of stretch it. Need some broken furniture. Yeah, we don't have a lot of broken furniture. We have things that are broken in sets, and then also like random broken boards and clutter, but not just like a chair like the one we have that might be like with the back snapped off or something like that. I might put some more things in later, like paperwork. There's only so much time I should really spend on all the little, mostly invisible things, like special papers, you know, guard orders, whatever, just sort of like lying around. I know some people like super excited when there's all these little things to read and touch and poke and open, and I like to put in that stuff. So there'll be a couple secrets in here, but it's not like every room's gonna have something special in it. You know, spending like hours or days on that extra stuff means I can't spend it like on a new scene or quest or something. So I gotta manage my time. Chess pieces. Oh, we do have that chessboard. I don't know that it would be good for the guards to be playing chess, but if you remember, we have like this room right here. Let's think about that. I'm gonna put. Find that chessboard just as a reminder for myself. No, chess. Nope, that's not the one I wanted. Excellent. So now I'm reminded. You can see the desks over here. I was talking about the desks before. Yeah, zoom in a little bit. Hold on. There we go. See the desks? Desk with inkwell. Writing desk. Oh, here I guess I use that that other rug as a wipe your feet rug, which is fine. This room will be sort of a mini barracks, I guess. We'll do that. Bed. Bed 2, I think, is my only option. Let's see. Oh, Cobalt. And bed 2. Bed 2. Wait a second. Oh, it's a little weird. Alright, so bed 2. It's got to go this way, which seems kind of awkward to have your head out in the open like that, but this way is okay. And the reason why it's got to be this way is because this side... Oh, there you go. There's the spot. That little marker right there, that's where players have to... when you go to sit on something, or lie down on something, the game takes control of your character, and it needs to move you to a certain point, and then animate you lying down or sitting down. So that little green dot is the point that I'm talking about. So there's a bed there. I'm going to do a couple beds. You know what? I can actually do it like this too. Maybe that's better. Especially have multiple beds. I need to have plenty of space for the player to go in and out. Like, he needs to be able to go here and fight things, and there's probably going to be something against the wall right there. And then probably don't want to have a bed like right there facing the reception area, so maybe this is good. What else? Oh, this I think is the one I like. So like a sort of footlocker-ish kind of thing at the end of the bed. I'm going to turn this. Go back here. Copy that. They probably kind of use it like as a mix. Wipe your feet mud rug. Let's shrink that a little bit. Door's going to go something like this. I think that didn't work. The stove right here, for those who care about such things. I didn't want to just have the stove just sort of the pipe to stop. So you can see out here, I have it come out, goes all the way up to a safe distance, so it can pass all the safety concerns. All the smoke's got to go above the roof. So that's what that's all about. Double check which way these doors open. Goes to -81, which is which way? Is that 180? Let me see something. Somebody set this door up. Hopefully it wasn't me. Could have been me. So the original element that we just copy again and again has this hinge parent where the door pivots. By default, rotated 180. Everything should be sort of zeroed out when you set it up. And when this door spins, it goes to -85, which is kind of too far. Where do we use these? Well, I'll have to figure out some other time. Okay, see on here. Maybe that's there. I don't know. I like to spend too much time lining these things up. That was actually pretty good. Finally, clean that back up. Start over here. I'm going to go back to weapon racks. Funny to see a sound effect on a door trigger. Haunted door like the Ghostbusters. Well, the sound effect will be like when you open and close the door, and for some doors there's like a little latch noise as well. So anytime you open and close it, there's a potentially sound. So I'm looking for a nice table, which could be one I use elsewhere, not those. So this room will be a dining area, so probably whatever table I use will be similar. So let's think. Kind of like this one, so we'll just drop this here for a second. This one's also not bad. A little short. You know what? I'm going to also look in the keyword deco, because players get a lot of sweet looking furniture. Some of these statues I'll probably have to grab as well. It's pretty green. I really want one that's a green. like the design though. It's straining my neck. I don't know. I'm gonna do an experiment. We'll see what it looks like. I don't know if I want it white. I don't know if I don't think I want marble at all. I think I just want them to have just a dining table. Start my search again. He keeps putting stuff down for me to nick. Yep. There will be a anti-theft gimmick on this stuff, because obviously it's not yours and the house is still owned by the owner. It's not abandoned. It's not considered abandoned in any stretch. So if you steal things, you will get dinged for it. The universe knows, and your reputation and the virtues will be affected. I also want to have, speaking of virtues, I want to have the guards out front have some kind of reaction, like A/B reaction, depending upon some virtue check that they do. Possibly the quest they give you might be a little bit different, but I'm not too sure about that. Possible. Table's not fancy enough. Oh, I like that chair. I have to look up chairs in a second. I have to keep one headphone on the ear, one off the ear, so if I have to, my dog starts calling for me or something. Alright, we're sticking with this. Oh wait, what was this? Yeah, we don't want that. Sticking with this table. Something we also do, a little trick. Esteban used to do this, which is pretty sweet. We would sometimes take a rug, not that one. Sometimes take a rug and put it on the table as like a tablecloth. Oh, actually, wait, that one. I kind of like that one. Of course, I mentioned my dog, and now he's up. Now he's up. There you go. It's in tablecloth. Nice. Where did you go for your training, or were you self-taught as a developer? I am self-taught. I did like art and illustration when I was young. I got into like, I worked at like Kinko's and print shops and stuff. Did desktop publishing. I always liked making forums and web pages, and I was a website designer for a little while. I worked on some like no-name comics for a couple years, and then I got and I did. I was a volunteer for Ultima Online as a counselor for like a couple of months, and then a seer for about a year. And then I got hired by the community team on Ultima Online, and was community and then game support guy for a few years, and then I switched to designer on Dungeon Runners, and just kept going. And you know, I always would fiddle with the stuff on the side. Played tons of D&D and all sorts of different tabletop role-playing games, and eventually tons of video games, and Mark Tucker took a chance on me. Steve Nichols took a chance on me for Dungeon Runners, and I think they liked what they got out of me. And then I just stuck with the game design thing. I've always been a guy who sort of likes to get everything done. I try not to skimp on things. I try to sort of make sure the things feel real. You don't have to have all the pieces in it, but it needs to feel like, if it's a living space, it needs to feel like people live there. To just slap down like a couple of crates or whatever is kind of weak. I like doing this kind of thing. This feels like a room people actually hang out in. Oh, there's that tipped over chair again. Like that, obviously. People live in it. Why? Because it's a stove. There's places to hang out. There's a little decoration on the table. You can see the carpet's been moved, so people come in here. They have nice art on the wall to look at. Just feels kind of real, except for the lighting. I don't have any lighting yet. There'll be a lighting pass at the very end once I have everything in place. Where were you when the UO office was receiving cookies? So I was in the UO office in Austin. I didn't move to California when the Austin office closed. So where was I was in near the marketing corner, if you know where that was, next to Binky's office. So we were multiple floors. Like the support team was on one floor, and the developers were on the upper floor, and I was on the upper floor with the developers. So that way I could run back and forth and ask them questions and give them advice on behalf of players. Let's get some chairs. A dining chair. Kind of like this chair. I'm going to keep going with the red chair theme, I think. Nope, that's not even red. I guess it's dyeable. That's alright. This is probably all the same thing. Oh, look at that. Keep that. Hold on a second. Sorry about the ambulance, or whatever that is, driving past. You there when you was receiving cookies from Queen Mum? I don't know. When you say Queen Mum, do you mean Queen Elizabeth, or was there a player named Queen Mum? I don't recall that name as a player. This might be a problem. Oh wait, let's do this. Like years ago. So I was there from 2001, 2003, something like that. Sometimes what I like to do is, instead of putting a chair at a table, I'll just push it off to one side. Nobody was sitting there today. Oh, actually, this chair we can give the old knockdown treatment. See from the side. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it should be pretty close. It's especially important, I think, on hard ground. If it was on the dirt, you just sort of clip it, you just mush it into the ground a little bit, and then it looks okay. It was a player in UL. She used to send cookies. I know sometimes we would get food, and that was always enjoyable. If she sent it just to a team, usually the programmers and designers got to it first, and then it probably came down to my end of the hall a little bit, and then eventually, if there were leftovers, it would go down to QA and game support. That's usually how it is with every company. So if you wanted to go to support team, I recommend sending it to game support, or whatever you want to label it, QA. Otherwise, it goes to the developers, designers, and programmers. I definitely support sending stuff to support teams for teams that have it, if you're so inclined to send them anything, because they sometimes don't get that stuff passed along. But, yeah, I've been on both sides. You know, community relations was sort of in the middle of the two. I worked, equally both sides, kind of like I do with players versus people at the company. And then as game support, I was obviously there for a few years, and then as a designer for even more years and all that stuff. This chair is not made correctly. I don't know who made it, but they did it wrong. I just moved it wrong too. Take the mesh collider out of the way. Remove the chair bits. That. And box collider. Sometimes pizza was sent, which was always nice. Players would sometimes send us pizza. Can't go wrong with pizza, pretty much. Although sometimes people do. I don't know how you can go wrong with pizza. Sometimes people do. Nope. Why is that moving that way? Pull that in a little bit. Alright, so that's a little dining area. Let's find a mug. Ceramic. Pewter. Let's go with pewter. I think they have pewter. Just make sure I grab the right one. I did not. Let's go with this. We have we have different types of mugs and things like that. We have some that are made to go in your hand, that's set up for like animations. They have certain anchor points on them that hook up to your character's skeletal rig. My buddy's trying to call me. Hold on one second. I am on a live stream! Exclamation point. Boom. He probably won't show up. Or checking out. TV. It's hard to type this junk. Boom. Okay. So 2 types of mugs, or maybe more than 2 sometimes, but we have the mug that sort of gets in your hand when you equip it. It's great for animation. And then we have the mug that goes on the table, which is a world object. So when you, a world object is something when you click it, you can pick it up. Oh, and that's not what this is. It's still the wrong one. Let me... This is a world object. This one might be... What do I do? Come on. Yeah, it is. Alright, we'll go with this if I want to change it later. This. A couple of mugs. Whoops. Just pull back a little bit. Do search for shelf, and I know we have some pre-made shelves. Just 2 is rating with a party of 5. Thank you very much. Pretty good. I've been playing the game Rust with my buddy. He's just texting me. He wanted to talk about our base that we have in Rust. I like Rust. There's certain elements, like I love massively multiplayer games, and Rust has some of the elements that I love in those games. I don't know if you played Rust, but it's at heart a shooter game with a map that is persistent for usually a couple weeks, sometimes a month, or whatever the server administrator wants to set. And they have you can create a building. It's not like the buildings that we have here, but you can put down foundations and walls and things and put in your own defenses. And they recently just added vehicles, which is super excited. They have an electricity system that I love. I love it. So let's get back to this. Shelf 1 dishware. Let's see what that bad boy looks like. I'm wondering if the dining table should be somewhere else. I kind of like it by the stove, though. We'll just keep going with it. Put these things over here, kind of against the wall. It should be, here's the guideline I give for people. I end up sort of being Mr. Instructions at a lot of the game companies I work at. So when I work on something, I take a lot of notes myself to help me sort of get things correct and consistent, and I end up sharing those guides to other players, other designers, and then depending upon how big the team gets. Like when I worked on Star Wars: The Old Republic, it was me and one other guy, and then we brought in like a third guy, and then our team exploded to like 7 guys, and I became de facto trainer of our team because I had all these guides, and I was able to sort of instruct everyone on how to make things happen. Anyway, so one of the things I say is, like, when you put down something, it should be kind of no space between or plenty of space in between so you can walk through. There should never be sort of like this sort of middle ground that a player looks like he should get behind it, but he can't, or will get stuck, or an NPC maybe can't get behind it, where a player might be like hiding and is able to cheat. So kind of close or notably far. So that's where that is. We need more of those weapon racks. We'll go. Oops. I don't know if I want that one. I think I like the small ones. We'll go with the small ones still. It's kind of nice that we have multiple different types, because that way I don't have to try to make new ones. Don't have to customize anything. the electricity system in Rust, back to Rust for a second, is kind of nice because it reminds me a little bit of how I have to set up puzzles here in Shroud of the Avatar. So there was some familiarities with it, so I just really got attached to it pretty quickly. And my buddy that I play with, he was he's not avoiding electricity, but he knows how much I'm gung-ho for it, so he kind of leaves it to me for the most part. He'll set up his own stuff, but I'm just so excited about setting up things where I like setting up so you can have automated sentries that are powered by electricity, and you need to turn off the power so you can restock the bullets in your sentries. So I do gimmicks like I set it up on the time switch, so you don't just turn off the power, you actually hit a timer, and when the timer runs out after like 60 seconds or 90 seconds or whatever, then the sentry automatically goes on. So that way it's like a dead man switch. If you like get killed while you're filling the sentries, or you lose connection, no matter what, the sentries are turning back on. So yeah, that's the kind of thing that gets me all jazzed. I had this super elaborate gimmick for our doors that we had in a certain base. It was kind of a long base, and there were multiple doors that we had to get out, and it was a pain to sort of click on each door to open it and close it, open it, close it. So I had a special gimmick where if you would just hit a switch, all the doors would open, and by the time you got to the end, there was a pressure plate trigger that you just run over. It would kill the power, and then all the doors would close. So it was just like all automatic. So anyway, I get super jazzed about it. I like the vehicles too. Still getting used to them, crafting them, but it's pretty neat. Anyway, there are these shield things that go on walls, and I always forget the names. It's not that. Yeah, go this way so I can see if I can find it visually. What I'm looking for is it's this thing that goes on the wall, and it's got like these weapons. It'll take me a minute to find. Oh, these are them. Oh, of course, these are old ones, so that's not the ones I want to use. But let's try to find the good ones. That's not where they are. Loot. This might be them. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Loot was a key word. That's pretty good. Like when there's some nice keywords. Next, can you craft in Rust? Yeah, they have a crafting system. What they have basically you learn a blueprint. You have just a few basic things to start with, and then you find blueprints in the world, or you can sort of deconstruct things to learn the blueprints, and then once you know the blueprint, you can craft the workbench, and you can make a lot of things. You can't make everything, but you can make a ton of things, and every so often, some servers will have a blueprint wipe, so you have to start over. And the game's all about like resetting every 2 weeks or every month or whatever the server sets for. Usually, it's just the map itself, the layout of the island that you play on, or maybe the size or the special monument points of interest you can go to. But is it harder to craft than Rust than a Shroud? No, it's simpler. It's made for it's not quick and dirty. It's not super simple. There's a little nuance once in a while. Sometimes you have to craft something and then have a bunch of those crafted somethings in order to make the third level more elaborate thing. Like you might need to go mine ore, and then you put that in the forge and you can make metal fragments, and use metal fragments to make like gears, and then gears and some other stuff can make a garage door. So but it's usually pretty linear and I think kind of obvious. Some servers, maybe a lot of servers, don't actually do the blueprint wipe unless they're forced to, and so that's pretty nice. Your character feels persistent, although at any point, it could all go away. I also kind of play on a server that's doesn't get a lot of traffic. It's low population and sort of noodle around without really getting bothered by people, which is convenient. I'm going to do this, drag them all in here. Get rid of this one. Go to bumps, okay. So right now they're all in one spot. So now I have a... Please stop wasting all of our scrap to learn car part recipes. Oh, that's my buddy. Yep. Too bad. To learn a blueprint, you need to use scrap. Scrap is sort of like the super general resource you could use anywhere. It's also kind of like the money of the game in some respect. They have a few NPCs that you could pay scrap to buy things. I think this is sort of where I'm going to put it. No, it looks dumb. So the problem is, it kind of should be here against the wall, but then of course you can see some things clipping right there. Could put it like here, kind of small. I'd rather put like a animal head up there. So this is that's really only one spot I could do that. I guess I could put it over there. So you put a few things on the wall and the room starts to fill up. Maybe I should move them up a little bit more. So if I move them up more, then I can put them above the doors. Actually, maybe these go down, and then also ones above the doors. OMG Sandy, you stream. You are now my favorite developer. Well, thanks. We stream as a team, though. Hopefully you've been watching the regular Shroud the Avatar stream, or Community of the Avatar stream. Travis, our Will Builder, will also stream. He's List Rostov in the forums. So this one's... I hate my dog. This one's weird because it's missing the shield. That one was weird. I have to look into that one. Okay. And then we can look for, I don't know, airhead? I forget where the taxidermy stuff is. Nope, that's not it. Some stuff in Soda is painful to craft. Way too many steps, like some of the papers. Crafting's not my responsibility. I don't know what's required behind the scenes. Sometimes things start off simple behind the scenes, and then, like, as time goes on, extra things have to get layered in using whatever the base was. So then it starts to get a little complicated. So that kind of might be what you're seeing. Pavers definitely weren't one of the earliest things. They came in late. Is this the Lord British Castle? Azazel Reborn is asking. Yes, it is. As a refresher for everyone, here's the castle. Actually, let me go this way. So this is the front of the castle. And then we are in this area right here, in this room, the guards room. Chance to get some input ideas in these maps is really awesome, Sanio. Cheers, dude. So yeah, crafting method. People can chime in if they want. Bunker C, for those who watch the videos on that, I made a little lava area in the back with the fishing specifically because it was suggested by players. Crow Quills doesn't like crafting, but if you could mind your language, that'd be great. Let's try to keep it PG, maybe. I don't mind critical assessment of it, but just, yeah, let's keep it accessible. I'm looking for... Oh, plaque? Is that what it is? Yeah, that's not... Okay. I was looking for these the mounted heads of the different creatures. So we had bears, all sorts of stuff. Zale has comments about the crafting tables not applying bonus, but you need to submit a bug for that. I don't know how that works at all. It is probably Beezus who would fix that if it's not working how it's supposed to. So let's see, what would these guards have on their walls? Probably things that they found out in the nearby wilderness. So since we're in Mistrender, which is north-ish, we'll start with Polar Bear Head. Where would that be? Would be here. Kind of like making use of this little area. And then maybe another one right there. Would be another bear. Yeah, I'm going to say yes. And I'm going to make it Patriarch Bear. Yes, I'm aware of killing children and cannibalism and such in the game, but this is not in the game. This is a publicly viewable demonstration of how I like to make scenes. I'm gonna go back to our list and look for some really big creatures and put some big ones up there. Deal with dragon. I don't know what that is. Something's wrong with that. Alright, maybe I'll go with that one. More bears, there's Shadow Ice. Oh, what's wrong with the dragon one? Maybe it was never finished. Maybe something got broken. Oh, this troll one is a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. Let's make it a big troll. Super big troll. What do I think about the New World game? I played an early beta of it. It was okay. I heard they did a lot of changes in the last beta round. I don't really know what all the changes are. Taking collision off these heads because this is mostly a fight space, and I'm worried that players could get blocked from going up there, or maybe cheat by climbing on top, and maybe the bad guys can get to them. You gotta be worried about some of that kind of stuff. So, let's put bear over here. Boar. Extra big. Apparently, some of these guys have been killing some boss monsters. Climbing on top would be great, or just from above. But yeah, but if the bad guys can't get to you, then that's a problem. Sanio, do you think when combat starts in these rooms, do you think the players have enough room to move around? They have as much or more room than the challenge dungeon in some of these rooms. So we'll see. Some of the rooms I might have to sort of stagger some of the wave spawns a little bit. I think this one should be fine. When the bad guys spawn, they'll spawn like by the doors or windows, so they'll spawn on the edge. How is a PvP system in New World compared to Shroud? I have no idea. I didn't do the PvP stuff. They did this interesting thing, world building wise, with the distant tree line. When you looked at a hill and you saw like the tree line above it, as you got closer, at a certain point, this sort of like fake 2D tree line sort of went away and was replaced with individual trees, which was a neat idea. It wasn't working, I think, as well as it could have been implementation-wise, because it was like the tree line was like solid, and then when they went away, this one, just a handful of trees. So it didn't replace one with the other. One went away, and a few came in. A wall went away, and a handful of trees came in, so it didn't do it. But I think I really like the idea of what they were trying for, and hopefully in the final version, it seems a little bit more solid. I think it was pretty good, though. Probably something that a lot of players wouldn't really pay too much attention to, but it really popped out to me. Aside from that, there was a lot of similar stuff you'd see like in other games. Swordplay, change your costume, change your weapon, run around mostly anywhere you want. Some relatively safe areas where you could just sort of relax or craft or buy things. So we'll put this guy at the same height, and this guy at the same height. Maybe I'll do this.